Alright, what is up, y'all? Welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about the Alaska Airlines situation and the subsequent response. So this situation took place about a week ago now, but I figured I'd hold off on making the video. I wanted to let the story develop a little bit, and I figured I'd now break down the situation and give some of my thoughts on all of it today. So, in case you haven't heard, during a January 6th flight, one of the main doors of the cabin just got ripped off mid-flight, obviously ensuing quite a bit of chaos, right? And in one account, a literal child almost got sucked out of the plane. I'm talking absolutely hellish shit. I wouldn't wish this upon anyone, but interestingly enough, the response that both the airline itself and the oh-so-intelligent users of Twitter had regarding this colossal fuck-up are honestly insane, to say the least. So let's go ahead and hop into that story, but before we do, if you're new around here and you aren't a fatherfucker, subscribe to the channel, man, because it's a fact that if you don't, you get no bitches, and let's be honest, you don't want that, I don't want that, so just do it. But let's get into this shit and brace yourselves. So the article we'll be taking a look at today comes from People. The title says, Alaska Airlines passengers who survived mid-air door blowout given $1,500 in compensation. Alaska Airlines is offering compensation to passengers who survived a recent emergency after a portion of the aircraft they were traveling on blew out mid-flight. Alright, we gotta break this down. So right off the rip, we now know that Alaska Airlines is offering $1,500 to these distressed passengers. And does anyone else not see an issue with this? I mean, for me, the math ain't exactly mathing, and that's coming from me, so you know there's an obvious issue here. So $1,500 is pretty disrespectful if I'm keeping it a buck. That's the amount of money that I make in about a week and a half at my current job. So you mean to tell me that the loyal passengers that chose your airline and about damn near lost their lives are worth $1,500 to you? Nah, man, that's crazy. Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
Because I did a little research, aka a 5-second Google search, and found out that Alaska Airlines is worth $4.5 billion with a B. And so you mean that's the best you could offer? That's the standard, the pinnacle of customer gratitude? Nah, this CEO does not give a fuck about these people. And just know that any sort of damage control that you know is coming, anything that comes out of this guy's mouth is not genuine. He might as well have done nothing, man. It's like when you and your girl break up and she says, oh, it's not you, it's me. Like, what does that accomplish? It doesn't make my heart suddenly not hurt. It doesn't make the reality of the situation just go away. You might as well have just done nothing and got to stepping me, boy, with your $4.5 million while you wait for those lawsuits to show up, because they're coming. But anyway, moving on here. On Thursday, the company issued a statement to People saying Alaska Airlines provided a full refund to each guest on flight 1282. Yeah, I sure fucking hope so. As an immediate gesture of care within the first 24 hours. We also provided a $1,500 cash payment to cover any incidental expenses to ensure their immediate needs were taken care of. The airline also offered 24/7 access to mental health resources and counseling sessions, and noted they will continue to work with them to address their specific needs and concerns. So I love how this guy almost comes out and is bragging at the fact that he did the bare minimum for these people, but I digress. At the same time, though, I guess in all fairness, it's good that they are offering these counseling sessions and all that, because that kind of thing can be very expensive, and as someone who's a psychology major and who is looking to become a therapist down the road, that's actually one of the very first thoughts I had is man, these people are going to be fucked up, they're going to need to pay for therapy, it's going to be expensive, right? And there's no doubt that these people are going to experience a lot of trauma that stems from all of this, but this is just something that never should have happened in the first place. It's good that you're doing all that, but we never should have gotten to this point in the first place. The only explanation here is negligence, because there's no way that this should have just flew under the radar. There's no reason why that they shouldn't have known about this. This is something that should have been addressed before the plane ever took off. It's really that simple. But because of all this, now these people are going to be scared to fly for the rest of their lives, will no doubt experience some level of mental distress, and overall just have to live with the fact that they very well could have died on that flight. Because, I mean, again, we're talking about human lives at the end of the day. And so I just gotta, reiterate and die on that hill that $1,500 in the mental health shit, in my opinion, is not enough. The people responsible for this should be fired, and these people should have gotten a lot more compensation, if you want my honest opinion. All 177 passengers aboarded Alaska Airlines Flight 1282 from Portland, Oregon to Ontario, California, survived the January 5th emergency landing, which occurred after a plug door towards the rear of the aircraft blew out at 16,000 feet, leaving a gaping hole in the side. So at least everyone was okay. At least there's some positives that stem from this. Many passengers were understandably left extremely shaken up. Now some who experienced the traumatic event are expressing their disapproval of the airline's reimbursement fee. So yeah, see, it's not just me. A lot of other people apparently have a problem with this. I haven't fully processed if that payment is enough or not, passenger Nicholas Hawk, 33, told the Washington Post on Wednesday regarding the $1,500. I don't know how this is going to affect me in the coming weeks and months, and I think he nailed it right there. Obviously, like I said, I'm just on the outside looking in, so perhaps a lot of y'all won't take my opinion on all of it as much as someone like Nicholas here. But I think he really did hit it on the head. $1,500 doesn't really at first glance seem like a whole lot to him. And not only that, but he's absolutely right. He doesn't know how this is going to affect him in the weeks and months. There's so much trauma that's going to stem from this that I don't think any of these people even fully comprehend yet, if I'm being honest. And I mentioned previously that it had to have boiled down to negligence, and though I'm sure that's the case, it actually goes quite a bit beyond that. So on Twitter, I saw a video that highlighted a pretty disturbing reality that I believe sheds a bit of light on not only this incident, but the possibility for future incidents similar to this. Let's go ahead and roll that clip. So, yeah, crazy enough, this video came out after the incident, and I can confidently say that this is the most 2024 thing I think I've ever seen. I get that it's early, but just leave it to our modern society to, in the midst of a pretty tragic event, still go to such disrespectful lengths to try and virtue signal. Oh, look at us, we almost killed an entire plane full of passengers, but hey, at least we're inclusive. At least we don't discriminate against women. This is so distasteful, man. How do y'all have the balls, or I guess perhaps in this case, ovaries, to totally disregard the most pressing issue here? This is a colossal fuck up. The last thing you should be focusing on is posting about how woke y'all are. And you see, it's always all about them, They're always trying to dodge all accountability by talking about how such a diverse employer they are. And let me set the record straight. Engineering is a tough field for women. It's mostly dominated by men. It's hard. I'm not going to argue that. If the women responsible for that door flying off were all women and this didn't happen, that'd be kind of cool, to be honest. But the fact of the matter is, that did happen. These women could have killed 177 people. They out here trying to unlock gilded camo for their launchers, taking down aircrafts in one foul swoop IRL. Come on, man. In all seriousness, though, this really does say a lot about society. How did it get to this point? How do we as a society care more about inclusivity than hiring people who are actually most qualified to ensure our safety? Shit's ridiculous, man. And speaking of ridiculous, let's hop over to Twitter to see what they had to say. So this tweet from this oh-so-intelligent Twitter user is in direct response to the video I just showed you. She says, it's actually usually men who want to rush and do things as quickly and easily as possible. They will cut corners if they can. Women will take their time, aren't afraid to ask questions if needed, and so on. To which I responded with, respectfully, are you retarded? But seriously, no one is arguing that women shouldn't be there. We're arguing that unqualified women shouldn't be there. In fact, unqualified men shouldn't be there either. Whether you're white, black, brown, purple, trans, it doesn't fucking matter. Whatever you are, you shouldn't be in that position if you can't do your damn job. And on the flip side, if you're white, black, brown, purple, or trans and are a good fit, by all means hire these people. Meeting a diversity quota and trying to appear woke is just dangerous, and this is a prime example of that. If this keeps up, we could have similar instances in the future. No one is saying don't hire women. It has nothing to do with your gender and everything to do with whether you're capable of ensuring the safety of people that board these aircrafts. It's not that complicated. I don't know why this is so controversial or so hard to understand, but then again, did we really expect Twitter to use common sense? Safety should be the #1 concern, but instead we get this.
I said gay, you said gay, 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 gay. When I said gay, you said gay, 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 gay.
God, that video was gay as fuck. Just kidding. Well, that about wraps up the bullshit. Sure was a lot to process, but thankfully it's over, at least for now. It's pretty crazy that that's their primary focus. Maybe let's hold back on that until we're able to properly manufacture planes and conduct necessary maintenance. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think about all this, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more commentaries just like this. And until next time, guys, this is Runter, and we will catch you on the next one. Later.